Good morning, everyone. Dre from Mad Mountain Motors here, and we're in our Baguio City motorcycle dealership. Today, we're gonna do a quick review of the CFMOTO CFlight 230 Dual. So today's video, we're just gonna do a quick review of this bike. We'll be giving the specifications and the classifications of what this bike has to offer, and we'll be also giving our own little impressions from our recent road test that we did on the CFMOTO CFlight 230 Dual. Before we begin, let's talk about the name. It's a dual sport bike. It's a mix of street bike and a dirt bike. So it balances both features of what you want from a road bike, that it can be brought on the road, it's street legal, but it can also handle rough road, off-road conditions because it's geared to be like a dirt bike. One of the most striking features of this bike is the price. 99,900 pesos. A bike that's 230cc dual sport for under 100,000 pesos is a winner in our book. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the engine. With the name itself, the 230 Dual houses a 230cc single piston, 4-stroke overhead valve pushrod engine. It's simpler, but it has a lot more lower end torque so that it can really push the bike up those uphills that we have here in Benguet. It's 14 horsepower. It's a carbureted bike, which means it's of a simpler design, but also it means that it's easier to maintain. You can clean it, you can rejet it, you can customize your fuel air intake mixture. To talk a little bit more about the engine, this bike also gives you 16.5 Newton meters of torque at 5,500 RPM. So this bike is also a 5-speed wet plate clutch. Aside from that, the body construction is made from steel tubing, and it's a bit high. The seat height, rather, of this bike is 840 millimeters. So I'm 6 feet tall, and I can comfortably flat-foot this bike. But you know, I've seen a lot of people that are 5'6", 5'5". They can ride this bike without problems. So this bike has a ground clearance of 265 millimeters. This dual sport bike comes in at only 132 kilograms, which makes it very light, very maneuverable. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the tires of this bike. Is spoked tube tires. Spoked tires actually have more rigidity. They're more durable, especially in off-road conditions. The 230 Dual is riding on a 21 front and an 18-inch rear. For those of you who are price conscious out there, this is a really good bike for you. You can get 28 kilometers per liter of gasoline for this bike. So this can do long trips without problems. The fuel tank capacity comes in at around 12.5 liters for the fuel tank. I think you can go pretty far with that fuel capacity. Now let's go to the suspension system of this bike. This bike has a 31mm telescopic fork front suspension. The front suspension can give you a travel of 165 milliliters. This bike comes with a monoshock rear, and it can give you 38 millimeters of rear suspension travel. It's a bit new to have a dual sport with a rear monoshock suspension. So I think that's one of the selling points of this bike also. This bike does not have ABS and TCS, but that is good for off-road use because you really don't need automatic brake systems and traction control systems when it comes to off-road. What this bike does have, though, that's nice, is it has daytime running lights. So it's LED daytime running lights. It also has a nice and unique USB port here for charging your devices that's conveniently located on your dashboard. But aside from that, it's very bare bones. You don't have that much electrical features for the 230 Dual. The 230 Dual has both front and rear disc brakes. So it's just a single disc. The stopping power is pretty decent for the front and rear. No problems whatsoever with the disc brakes of this bike. A few more features about this bike. It has a nice instrument display panel, all LEDs. It also comes with a built-in luggage rack, so it's very easy to strap on luggages that you have for a long trip. It's very easy to strap on here. You can customize it already. The colorway of this bike, there are only two options right now. You have the Zephyr Blue. The Zephyr Blue, by the way, is the trademark color of CFMOTO. And you also have, behind me, the Tundra Gray. So the Tundra Gray is also a very prominent, but it's not a trademark color of CFMOTO. It's also very prominent on the other CFMOTO bikes, like the 450 MT and the 700 MT. A little bit of our impressions about the CFMOTO CFlight 230 Dual. So we've had this test bike for quite a while, and I've been using it a little bit on-road and off-road. Just a disclaimer, I'm not a professional off-road rider. I'm just a normal, regular, everyday rider. I am not trained to do enduro and off-road. But what I find that this bike does for me is it opens the door for off-road riding for a beginner like me, because it's very light and it's easy to control. I'll overlay some videos here some riding videos in a while. And as you can see in the videos, to be honest, we took this up to Mount Ugo, and I crashed the bike during an uphill ascent in Mount Ugo. The bike performed flawlessly after the crash. There were a few scratches and a few dings, but it still functioned normally. So I think it's a pretty durable bike. I was able to continue the ride, even though I found Ugo to be very challenging for me, especially as a beginner. But I had no complaints with the power of this bike. The torque is just enough to power me up the hills. And it's also a very enjoyable bike riding around the city. Whenever our operations team goes around, riding around Baguio, they also take our test unit. They've also reported no problems going up the steep hills of Baguio. They can park the unit almost anywhere. And also they say that a lot of people turn their heads whenever they drive by with this bike, because this bike is it's quite good looking. So it breaks necks when you ride around the city. Especially it's updated, its features, it looks nice, it rides well. What more can you ask for a 99,000 peso bike? Again, I'm inviting everyone who has doubts about this CFMOTO CFlight 230 Dual. Come by the store, try it out, and see for yourself what the 230 Dual can offer you. So once again, this is Dre from Mad Mountain Motors, and I'll see you guys in the next video.